here on the mothership.
Talking about Dusty Bros. Yep.
Welcome to the Completely Unnecessary Podcast for April 5th. It's Cadbury egg season, Tuesday, 2022. I got to buy some Cadbury eggs. That's Ian Ferguson.
That's me.
I'm Pat Contry. I'm in a better mood than I should be, being that I spent all of last night reinstalling apps and programs to the new PC. How you doing, Ian?
I'm all right.
On the show today, we'll be talking about The Last Normal Man on YouTube. I can't even say it with a straight face. We'll be talking about Ian's angry.
I am angry.
Ian's angry. No E3.
I'm not angry about that, though. That's fine.
Patreon poll topic. Atari shenanigans all abound. Some voice messages. Ian went to WonderCon.
I did.
This past weekend. We talked about WrestleMania on the exclusive Patreon podcast, patreon.com/CU podcast this week.
Yep. What I did not talk about there was I got a chance to play the Rush pinball machine. The new one by Stern.
What's the theme? Rush of what?
Rush.
California. Oh, the band? California Rush? Oh, I was like, California Rush? You like Rush?
I love Rush.
What does that go? I'm not a big Rush person. I don't know much about their songs.
Yeah. I didn't like the look of it. It was fun to play, though. It was nice. It was fun to play. It was nice to hear Geddy Lee. Like when you do certain things, he like spits out occasional facts about the song. Like I started a song and he was like, yeah, if you didn't know, Neil wrote the lyrics to this one.
Randomly.
And I was like, that's kind of cool.
Or he record on his phone.
So I have to play more of that machine to really get like a feel for it. I really wanted it to look, it's kind of plain looking and I don't love the art on it, but I like the layout. It's fun to shoot, fun to play. And yeah, I do like the little
random
little fun facts as you're like starting things up.
Notes.
No, I mean that's honestly kind of cool to me. So
they seem to do a band one every year or two. It seems like at this point, right?
I think probably every 2 years they do They do 2 machines a year, and I would say every other.
Just 2?
They do 2 a year.
Seems like it's more.
And I think every other year. Yeah, it's got to be more than 2 a year now because people were telling me Godzilla came out this year, and I thought Godzilla came out at the end. No, Godzilla came out at the end of last year because I played it when I was home in December.
There's got to be a list somewhere. I'll look at it.
So Rush is the first one this year. Yeah, maybe they only do 2.
I'm going to do a list. I'm going to look right now and see.
Yeah.
Because obviously there's now more manufacturers, but for like 10 years there weren't any. Besides them.
Spooky is still very, very small and boutique.
Sure. And Jersey Jack is still boutique.
And Jersey Jack, I don't even know what they're working on right now. But yeah, Jersey Jack is really boutique.
They did 4 in 2020.
Okay, what are they?
Turtles, Avengers Infinity Quest, Heavy Metal, the magazine, and Led Zeppelin.
Heavy Metal?
Yeah, that's a cool one, probably.
In 2020? Oh, in 2020.
In 2020 they did 4.
Okay.
In 2019 they did 6.
They
did Monsters, Black Knight, Sword of Rage.
God, that sucks.
Star Wars Pin, New Jurassic Park, and Elvira's House of Horrors. And they did a Star Wars comic art, redesign of the existing Star Wars, and Stranger Things. They're pumping these out now.
Yeah.
6?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Even if 1 or 2. I forgot about Stranger Things. Is that a good one? I never played that one.
They have it at Aero Club. And I have no interest in Stranger Things as a show. The machine is kind of fun, little simple. It's a greatest hits of Center Bash.
It looks like the minimum the past 10 years has been 3. So they're doing, they'll say on average they're doing 4 a year the past 8-9 years. They're pumping them out.
1 a quarter. That makes sense.
They're pumping them out.
But Jurassic Park is fantastic.
Obviously, most of them are licensed, which kind of bothers me how there's almost no unlicensed one anymore. The last unlicensed one, Whoa Nelly in 2015, was that not unlicensed?
Whoa Nelly's Juicy Melons. Yeah, it looks like an electromechanical. Okay. Might even be an electromechanical.
So that, again, I understand.
Yeah, but no one's done. I mean, there was almost no. I mean, even the 90s, there was almost no original ones. Original ones pretty much died out by the time you got to the 90s.
Really?
I mean, there was Whitewater. I mean, sure, there are some fishtails, but by the time you got
Theater of Magic,
by the time you get to the mid 90s and on,
maybe mid 90s.
Yeah, early 90s, sure. There's still some originals.
Come on.
But by the time you get
to
Dude, by the time you get to mid 90s, it's all movies.
But my favorite ones are the non ones of all time. My favorite ones are like Theater Magic, Medieval Madness. Those are still my favorites.
Sure, Attack from Mars wasn't themed. Yeah, so you're right.
Yeah,
there was still a lot of fresh ones. Spooky occasionally does like they did the TNA, Total Nuclear Annihilation, which I love. That one doesn't have a theme on it.
I went from hating that one to liking it.
I love that machine.
I went from hating it, playing it, and then I was like, okay, I get it. And then I started.
It's unreliable as fuck.
Oh, is it? Because all the parts.
Yeah. I was talking.
There's a learning curve to that machine.
I was talking to the guy Mark who operates all the machines because he's oftentimes there, and we were talking about that machine. Him and I and my friend Adam were playing a game on it, and he's like, I love this machine. He's like, but I hate having it on location. And he's like, I won't buy. He's like, I'm nervous whenever I'm looking at a spooky machine because he's like, this machine just breaks down all the fucking time.
They've done like what, 3 or 4 machines?
Spooky?
Yeah,
they've done a lot. Spooky also did the Halloween / Ultraman that uses the same layout.
Okay.
And there was actually one on location out here, and they pulled it off because it was doing poorly.
They've done Alice Cooper's Nightmare Castle.
They did a Rob Zombie one, I think.
America's Most Haunted. That was the first one, right? And then they've done Jetsons Pinball. Jetsons?
They, like I said, they also did the Halloween and Ultraman.
And they did a Rick and Morty one.
Yes. Which I actually want to play because the designer from TNA worked on the one for Rick and Morty.
Okay, they've done about 10 machines, 8 to 10 machines. Yeah. Okay, that's pretty good. Then Jersey Jack. This is our pinball podcast segment.
Jersey Jack has done 3, 4.
Just 3?
They've done Willy Wonka, Hobbit, Wizard of Oz, and Pirates of the Caribbean.
That's all they've done, really?
I think that's it.
4 in like 10 years?
I mean, tell me if I'm wrong. I could be. I'm
kind of shocked by that, to be honest. I mean, you could be right.
They took forever on
Wizard of Oz. It took forever
on Wizard of Oz.
But that was
fine.
But you needed that. They needed to help change the industry and like do new things. That was a cool.
They were the ones who did they're the ones who did the most recent Guns N' Roses.
Okay, so they're still making.
I thought that was Stern.
That's important. You needed some fresh blood in the industry.
Yeah, they did Willy Wonka, Pirates, Dialed In.
Are they Dialed In?
The Hobbit and Wizard of Oz.
Gotcha. Okay. All right, so like one every couple of years.
And I want to play Dialed In. People like Dialed In.
I can't remember if I played that or not somewhere.
Anyway, moving on.
Preserve Play event happened. Our friends from Video Game History Foundation and Completionist, Gerard and Alex, they did a fundraiser. This is the second annual one. They raised $60,425.
Jeez Louise.
That's a good amount of change for video game history.
Congratulations,
preservation folks. There. I checked in Sunday morning, gave a few bucks. Alex was playing. Frank was there with Kelsey in LA. They were playing the ping pong all-in-one NES clone game. Since those are all NES games for a lot of those, like most of those like plug and plays were NES ROMs, and it detected the swing. You actually got paddles for 1 or 2 players, and it was a 3D-ish ping pong game, and it worked.
Yeah, I know Frank loves that one.
It looked almost like brand new. So keep taking good care of those things. I don't usually come at the swap meet. I don't remember seeing those that often. Stuff like that. Those like one-off weirdo ones like that. Didn't remember seeing those often, but they're interesting.
So a Call of Duty player.
You skipped over Gex Jr.
Oh, my bad.
You're supposed to say, Pat. Speaking, Pat, of video game preservation.
Speaking of video game preservation, Pat. Gex Jr. Was found this past week. It was unreleased for the PlayStation. The guy looks real cool. Gex Jr. looks awesome here. He looks like he might be getting into some breakdancing pose. He's got a backwards red cap on. Prototype only has a short playable level. This is from hiddenpalace.org. It repeats the level every time you finish it. Has a few soda cans that Gex Jr. can collect. Collecting one plays a gulping sound, but doesn't show how many you've collected. There's no like HUD or an HUD or anything like that. And yeah, basically it. Probably meant to be like a kid's game.
This will be PlayStation release. Platformer, 3D platformer. He's air guitaring as his little, I guess as a taunt or completion thing. I look at the video. Oh boy, we've gone from not getting, years ago there would be no game preservation news ever, and now it's like everything. The faucet's turning. It's great because we get good stuff, weird stuff like this. It's all good. What are you saying, Ian, about a Call of Duty player? Did you bring something up? What?
Yeah, the Call of Duty player, COD streamer Kenji was caught cheating this past week, while attempting to show that he wasn't cheating
by using what they call a cam stream, where you show yourself like with the monitors and everything.
Right. So he pointed the camera at his computer after the match as Team 1. After the match, competitors, I'm Sasuke and I, Lovely, decided to dispute the results with the service that was hosting the game, Checkmate Gaming. They checked, and at one point it says here you can plainly see that he's using wall hacks.
Yes,
which is a common cheat that lets you see your enemy through walls.
In the video, you see these boxes where the enemies are when they're behind walls, and obviously you have no morality when it comes to certain things if you're going to be a cheater. But you're a fucking moron if you out yourself while trying to prove you're not. That this is the video that went around, and the commentary is great. It's from, I guess, two people that were accusatory, and here's the audio you can hear. There's two people watching that live, and one person is like, the one female voice is like, I knew it, I knew he was a cheater. The other person's like, oh my god, oh my god, I gotta find it. I thought that was it. Sorry. So people who knew this guy, something was up with this guy.
Yeah,
they knew it.
He's been banned from Checkmate Gaming, where he has apparently earned nearly $4,000 by being a cheater.
It sounds like you can bet on games. You can there's money pools for competitive gaming.
And the collegiate league that he competed in, the College COD League, issued him a permanent ban and disqualified his other 4 teammates representing Grand Canyon University in the league.
I didn't know a lot of colleges had teams for quote unquote the esports stuff, but this is bad now because this is monetary fraud involved.
Sure.
This isn't just, I'm just hacking in, because this happened with, not to bring up Unreal Tournament almost every podcast, because now I will, but I will. There's an Unreal reveal today, supposed to be for something, obviously for the engine. But there was a couple of times in the community where someone was found out, and they weren't wall hacks. They were mostly the aim hacks. And the cursor went on something and automatically fired. So that would work great for a lightning gun or an instant sniper rifle weapon. And that's why are they getting so many headshots? Because they were waving their fucking mouse around until it hit something. Right. And people were accusatory, but then it got, not that it got covered up, but it was kind of obvious. Then video would come out where it would be shown, and it was like, dude, you should have been aware this person is destroying everyone. Yeah. But only with certain weapons? Right. I mean, come on. So it's a shame that this happens, but there wasn't money 15 years ago when we were playing Unreal Tournament. This sounds bad. I feel bad for the teammates, but I'm going to say this. This is probably a larger conversation to be had where how can you do competitive sports and allow people to do it not from a centralized location where all the software, you know what I mean? How do you allow this? Because this is rampant. When money's
sit
involved,
down at a PC that's already pre-set up and checked.
Yes. I understand with COVID and stuff, but there's money involved now with this. This guy has stolen money from people. Yep. And he's fucked over his teammates. And the university looks bad. This is bad. This is bad. Not saying they should toss him out of school, but there's an honor code system to colleges and stuff. That's ridiculous. And then whenever these people get caught, they always I don't know. I can't wrap my mind around the people that do this stuff. How they jump through hoops to justify it. I don't know. Is the money worth it? Your reputation? I don't fucking know. It's sad. Yep. Morbius sucks in the movie. Yeah, I heard. He sucks blood too, but the movie sucks. And not to castigate the audience in general. This is what you get when you go see Venom movies. You let Sony realize, I own the Spider-Man properties. I'm going to try to make every C-grade Spider-Man villain into a movie now. And you get a fucking awful Jared Leto movie. I don't know who wants to see Jared Leto as a comic book character ever again after the awful Joker, but here we are.
I don't want to see him as anything.
Frankly, the method acting asshole that would leave fucking used condoms in Will Smith's trailer or whatever. Will Smith talk about slapping people. That was justified on set for Suicide Squad, but the thing coming up now is that he would stay in character because in the movie he has a disease, the doctor. He would use the crutches to go take go to the bathroom, take 45-minute breaks while cast and crew is waiting on him. Just a fucking asshole. Just an asshole. You're doing a C grade. You're doing a superhero movie that sounds like could have been produced in 2007 when people are saying that's sort of the greatest. Oh, sure. It was 15% on Rotten Tomatoes. No one wants to see this shit. And so Sony already has lined up doing a Madam Web movie, a Spider-Man character I never heard of, And then they're doing a Kraven the Hunter movie. And no one outside of Spider-Man or comics knows who the hell Kraven the Hunter is.
I know who Kraven is. I have no idea who Madam Web is.
The point is that like these movies were going to bomb. And so like Sony, you have a good thing letting Marvel do all the heavy work and let Disney make the good Spider-Man movies. And you're getting most of the profit out of the deal.
Yeah.
Or just about all of it. It sounds like I think Marvel gets like the licensing of the property, but they don't get like the movie ticket sales. You're doing fine. Stay away from these characters. Venom, okay, we get it. Venom people know about. No one gives a shit about Madam Web or Morbius. I cannot tell you a Morbius comic book storyline run. I cannot tell you one. And I own his first appearance in Spectacular Spider-Man #6. I know that much. I don't know anything about the character outside of that. So here's the Rotten Tomatoes thing real quick. Here's the consensus on this. By the way, I got to see Moon Knight. Speaking of good comic, I got to see Moon Knight.
I watched the first episode.
You like it? I don't know a huge amount about the character.
I'll stick with it. I love Moon Knight and I love Oscar Isaac. The first episode, it feels like they're pulling from many different
storylines.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I'll stick with it because I like the character and I like the actor. I'm not sold on it.
Frank
yet.
loves the character.
Oh, yeah,
I never really read any of it.
Fantastic. You should read Bendis's run. I'll bring you the trades.
Thank you.
12 issues. Knock it out.
16% on Tomato Meter. Critics consensus. Cursed with uninspired effects. Rote performances, I love that word rote, and a borderline nonsensical story. This dreary mess is a vain attempt to make Morbius happen. Please don't tell me that this made box office. I know there's some Jared Leto fangirls out there that have probably seen anything, but like, please don't tell me that this made a ton of money this past weekend.
I can't imagine it did.
I don't think it made a huge amount. It made only 8 million on Sunday. On Saturday, it made 13. On Friday, it made like 40 million. 45 million. That's hopefully not enough to justify doing any more of these awful fucking C-grade Spider-Man villain.
Yeah, hopefully not.
Or Spider-Man characters. The deal is weird. It's like, if they first appeared in a Spider-Man comic, we get rights to it. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense.
That's really strange.
Hence why they can do a Kraven movie, Sony. So there you go. You got that. We got more interesting enough. We got the Doctor Strange movie in a month, which is going to be bonkers. Sam Raimi's
that'll
directing.
Be interesting.
It's only 2 hours and 6 minutes. Thank you, Sam Raimi, for having a shorter movie. That's why I didn't see Batman. I was not going to spend 3.5 hours in a movie.
I want to see it, but I don't want to sit there for 3 hours.
From what I heard, it's basically like you're watching an extended director's cut in the theater. It's like establishing shots that linger way too long, like the fucking Zack Snyder 4-hour cut of Justice League that could have been 3 hours. Like, it's just too much.
I want to see it. I heard the performances were good, but I don't have 3 hours in me.
Not for Batman.
Nights.
There's a Batman movie every other year now that he appears in. It's like, it's not
2.5 is like
2.5 for Batman.
2.5 for Batman. I can do 1.5 for everything else.
2 hours for Raimi.
All right, that's fine.
I'm actually, I think it's gonna be super interesting with Raimi directing it. It's gonna feel. I think they're gonna give him enough rope to make it like feel like a different movie.
Yeah,
with Raimi doing it. More of like a horror-ish Sam Raimi experience there. Bizarre end credit scene. I got to comment on real quick on this. So they're trying to make, before the rights to Spider-Man, not rights, but before the deal with Disney happened in 2015 to redo it and relaunch it with Tom Holland in Civil War in 2016, they wanted to do a Sinister Six movie with Andrew Garfield. They were building that up as a third movie. There was hints of it in the Amazing Spider-Man 2. They were establishing that with the characters. Apparently, Sony still wants to do a Sinister Six movie, but in their shitty non-MCU world. So this is what they did. One of the best things about... I was not a big fan of Homecoming, Spider-Man Homecoming. I liked Far From Home a lot more than Homecoming. Some people may disagree with me on that. Michael Keaton as Vulture was great in Homecoming. I thought it was really good. It wasn't a total heel character, sort of a nuanced sort of character. Gave a modern spin on the character, and everyone loved Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton can do no wrong. It's gonna be Batman again, which is gonna be weird. But they decided, and they did the end. They publicly came out with the end credits scene before the movie came out, which is bizarre. I guess they realized they needed all the help they can get with this Morbius movie.
I guess.
So what they did is they drew in the Vulture character from the MCU using the excuse from Spider-Man No Way Home with the multiverse. They drew in the Vulture into the Morbius universe, which I guess is the Sony universe. My head's already starting to fucking explode because originally in the trailers, they showed Michael Keaton being a part of this universe and showed like Spider-Man Murderer. Originally, it was a Tom Holland universe the Morbius was in.
Right.
But they made this movie like fucking 3.5 years ago.
Sure.
This movie was just come out over 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And they put it back, they posted because they changed the entire thing and recut it. They recut things and they redid the ending. So now Venom, Morbius, the Vulture that was in the MCU is now in the same shitty Sony non-Spider-Man Spider-Verse. And it makes zero fucking sense because the Doctor Strange spell at the end of spoilers, everyone's seen it except for Ian, at the end of No Way Home was everyone that knew who Peter Parker was as Spider-Man, I'm erasing their memory, which would include the Vulture and everyone else. So there's no in-story reason for him to be sucked into the Morbius universe. None at all. So he shows up. Morbius is in a desert. He's let out of prison because it's like, oh, here's a guy in prison. We don't know who he is. They let him out. He somehow gets the same Vulture tech that he had in the MCU. He only had it in the MCU because of the Chitauri invasion that happened in Avengers when they invaded New York, Manhattan. Mm-hmm. So he gets his Vulture outfit with no way to get it with alien tech. He shows up in front of Morbius and it's literally, hey, we should team up. And Morbius is like, yeah, we should. It makes no sense. I shouldn't have to analyze the logic for a comic movie, but it makes no sense from what they like, none. And they ripped the Vulture character away from an interesting premise. The premise at the end of Homecoming was he knows who Peter Parker is. He's asked by the guy who becomes a Scorpion in prison, and he declines out of some respect because he saved his daughter in the first one, Liz. And, you know what I mean? Like he was a kid. That's gone. Like that was an interesting thing that they didn't bring up in No Way Home at all. Like Vulture was not in No Way Home, which was shocking to me. Now you know why. Sony probably was like, we want him back. Fuck you, Sony. And fuck you if you go see Morbius to encourage this shitty behavior. Now I'm a comic fanboy. Sorry, Ian.
Yeah, wow. All right. Well, that was cool.
There's no teasers at ultimatenintendo.com. No end credits teasers. You can get books. You can get enamel pins. You get RBI baseball stickers. I don't know if you like that one or not. You can get the not for resale Blu-ray. I haven't pumped out in a while.
It's a little shaken.
You can get. I'm shaking up. There's 7 prints left. The Yoshi Combat print, limited to 22 prints, signed by the artist who worked on Star Wars, Mandalorian, Walking Dead, everything. He's now working on Invincible. The man can do no wrong. Our pal Yoshi. The man can eat some seafood at Mitch's. He was pounding away the food there.
I believe it.
He was pounding away the food.
This is a long intro.
It's only 23 minutes, Mr. Clocker.
Yeah, well, we're halfway through it.
I'll be at the Midwest Gaming Classic April 30th and May 1st. Mr. Timer.
And May 1st, huh?
Yes, Ian. I'll be there with guidebooks in tow. Norm, the gaming historian, will be there. Kelsey and Frank from Video Game History Foundation will also be there hanging out. It's the 60th anniversary of Space War. Speaking of video game history.
Yep. Speaking of it, that is the truth. 60 years ago this month in April 1962.
Zeros and fives, Ian.
This is from an article at How to Geek by Benj Edwards. A group of hobbyists at MIT released the pioneering computer game Space War on the DEC PDP-1, which set the stage for the video game Revolution. And I believe it was a one-on-one combat game.
Combat
game.
It became Computer Space in the arcade in the early 70s.
Yes.
Which always confused me because Computer Space was an arcade game. Space War was on a computer.
Yes.
It always confused me, but that was the first, first main video game arcade machine. What was that? That predates Pong. Pong wasn't until 72. So that's the first major, video game that came out commercially.
It had physics.
Computer Space.
It had inertia.
The physics and inertia are fun. If you ever played I never played, obviously, on a fucking
No, I've never played it on this.
But Computer Space is awesome. And it's all what is it called? Something logic. Direct Logic or whatever it's called. It's
a hard logic.
It's like hard coded.
It's all hard coded.
You look at the board inside, which I've seen before. It's like it's not like standard like computer board with chips. Direct Logic, is that what it's called?
I can't. Discrete logic.
It's discrete logic.
Discrete logic. Breakout was the same way.
Yes. So like the instructions are all like coded directly into the chips, basically, versus a computer figuring it out.
Right.
That if I'm doing it in layman's terms. So yeah, it's interesting and it's fun and it works and they're beautiful machines. There's like 3 or 4 different colors.
Yeah, they're gorgeous.
Sparkly.
They're fucking gorgeous.
There's like a green one, a blue one, a red one, I believe, a yellow one.
They always remind me. I've seen green, red, yellow.
I've seen a blue. I think.
Okay.
Computer space.
The way they look, they've got that like metallic like flake paint on it. They look like
spray painted almost.
They look like county fair rides. Like if you've ever been to a county fair, like county fairs have that
seats
that
and
plastic.
yes.
It's that fiberglass molding with the flake paint on it.
So it
looks awesome.
That came out in 71, November, December. I love they don't know the exact date. I love it. I love the old video game history. And that was Bushnell and Dabney pre-Pong the next year. Pong may have stolen the idea from Ralph Baer probably for Pong, but that was the next year. And that's the 50th anniversary this year. Basically, the modern anniversary of video games is 50th anniversary this year because of the Manavox Odyssey and Pong is 72. That's the kickoff year to me. That's where we're off and running now. But obviously, this is a precursor. It's very important. These folks are now getting in their 70s and 80s that program this. They're the original video gamers then. There's someone's going to bring up, what about Tennis for Two? Relax.
Fucking take it easy.
Or the fucking
take it easy.
The tic-tac-toe game. Relax.
Take it easy.
That's a little bit different than computer space and space war. A little bit.
Did you hear Al Pacino recently admitted to being on cocaine during Heat?
No. He didn't admit to being on cocaine. He said that was the basis for the character, Ian. I thought.
No.
He said he was on coke?
He says, and well, if, you wonder why some of it's so accurate, and just kind of like trails off.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he just meant that the character is supposed to be on cocaine. It was written like that.
No, he's like the guy chips cocaine and then he's talking. I watched the clip just like yesterday or the day before. He's like, yeah.
She's got a great big ass!
Great big ass!
Hank Azaria's reaction was like, what? Like he was not expecting that on camera.
That movie is so good.
I cannot believe you didn't see it before, Ian. It's like,
I can't believe there are people out there who say it's awful.
Who the fuck says
I don't
Heat is
know.
awful?
I feel like people who are contrarian.
It's a fucking masterpiece.
I'm not getting into Heat
It's
again.
a masterpiece crime drama.
I cannot get on a Michael Mann thing right now.
Ian and I, when it comes to food and movies, we're usually lockstep for the most part on that stuff. The important things in life. Movies and food.
Need to watch Thief again. Yeah, Michael Mann. Holy shit.
Michael Mann, you ever see Manhunter?
No.
It's worth seeing to see what the pre-Hannibal Lecter
Sure. Just for his direction. He's a director that I would watch because I like his directing.
Then you'll like it for the direction alone.
Yes.
And for the trippy soundtrack. And yeah. You want to return to Monkey Island, Ian?
I do. I'm very excited about this. I don't know a whole lot, but it was announced that a game by Ron Gilbert, the original person behind behind Monkey Island, there's a new one coming, and it's coming in 2022. There's a trailer. I'm excited about this. Always happy to see people return to the properties that they made famous.
Very nice.
Yep. So that's going to be exciting.
I still haven't played that. Any of the Monkey Island stuff. I know. I know. I never. For some reason, I was not playing that as Luke. I was playing Sam and Max, and I was playing other. Look, that sound. It sounds like a cat. Like.
I'm angry.
You want to cut this next one?
Yeah, we can cut that.
Okay. Congrats to Capcom, people making more money.
Yeah, people are making more money at Capcom.
30% more.
30% more. That's how you keep people. Do it, Capcom.
Hey, people.
Okay. The people who are making Pinball FX, Zen Pinball. They released a new early access version of
Pinball heavy segment.
Yeah, it is. Well, it's all I've been doing in my free time again lately anyways.
Lately.
They released a new version on the Epic Games Store. And this version, which is probably where all the other versions are heading eventually, is angering people, angering players.
It literally says on the docket here, I'm angry. Not somebody says, I'm angry about the new Zen Pinball on Epic.
Yeah. So
Ian tweeted it out.
this is like the second or third time. They're asking people to rebuy their tables. They've upgraded to a new engine. So Zen Pinball FX 3, there was a 2.
Didn't we talk about this a few years ago?
Yes. And and the whole thing was like, look, we're upgrading to a new physics engine. We're moving systems. This is going to suck, but we need people to rebuy their tables.
Yes.
And I'm like, okay, fine. I'll rebuy them.
And we said, okay, it's not horrible.
Now they're doing it again. And it's because they have chosen to upgrade to Unreal Engine 4.
So they're redoing the engine again.
They're redoing the engine
Second
again.
time in like 5 years.
Yes. After already stating that, we can say, our new physics for the classic mode, you can have arcade perfect physics. And now they're saying, well, we're doing it again because people want better graphics and they want better physics. No, you want us to rebuy the tables again. And what pisses me off about it, I understand the realities. Before I get into this, they're also implementing a fake currency, which everyone loves. Everyone loves fake currency. Yeah, I can't load up the new version and just go to the store and fucking buy.
Wait a minute.
My tables with money. I have to buy a ticket pack, and then I have to buy the tables with tickets.
And let me guess, the increments for the ticket packs are such that
so there's always going to be some left over. Now, however, one of the people that they talked to from Zen was like, well, we understand that the people are going to have Kirk acknowledges that having extra unused virtual currency is not optimal, but we have a way to address that in Pinball FX's early access period. Zen will ultimately implement dynamic bundling, which will allow you to use smaller amounts of tickets to pick up an extra table. Kirk said this particular feature hasn't been implemented yet because as it's a data optimization solution, there isn't yet enough data to build a dynamic building formula. Still, ideally, your balance could be zeroed out. It's in its early access period now, and it's not there, so the problem's not fixed.
Dynamic bundling.
I know it doesn't make a lot of sense why to have extra tickets, but this tool is coming. It's so you all can make money.
Dynamic bundling is almost as bad as EA's term. The mechanics. What was it?
Surprise mechanics.
Surprise. It's almost as bad. Dynamic bundling is almost as bad as surprise mechanics.
So, I mean, I don't know what that means. Does that mean like if you have 10 tickets left over, they're going to give you a table that you can maybe get? I have no idea.
They're not giving the opportunity to buy
something
to make it up.
Or
this is scummy. Yeah. This is scummy.
No, it's scummy.
It's scummy.
So I understand that licensing with pinball is very, very tricky between the companies,
the IPs,
the actual IPs themselves. So I understand that, and I understand why sometimes this. I understand that, but my problem is they're doing this for the tables that have no license or IP. They're doing it for the tables they've made themselves.
So there's no excuse.
There's no the tables that they made that have been around since Zen Pinball 1, and they added some in Zen Pinball 2 and Zen Pinball 3. Those, they're still doing the same thing. So there's no excuse.
So it's a money grab.
So yes, it's a money grab. It's absolutely a money grab. And we already have accounts. We already sign into accounts on these things because it tracks your fucking scores and stuff like that. So they know what we've purchased.
They could carry it over if they wanted to. They could.
Now, again, I'm kind of both sides here. I'm angry, but I can easily play both sides of my head because yes, as a pinball fan, they have a smaller basis that they're selling stuff to. But if you piss off that fan base, they're gone.
I don't understand it. I mean, how much do the tables cost each roughly?
It depends on what the tables are.
Okay.
I mean, some of them used to be like, I remember when they were doing Marvel ones, which you can't even get on the new one because of licenses. When they were doing the Marvel ones, they were like, it was like 2 for $8, but here's where I get fucking cheesed. They released the Indiana Jones Williams pinball machine on Zen Pinball FX like 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
I bought it. I don't even like the Indiana Jones Williams table that much.
I like it.
I bought it because as a person who likes pinball and knowing that pinball is a small, niche, expensive hobby, I try to support these people who are doing this. It was $15 fucking for one table.
$15.
$15 was how much the expansion for one table.
Holy shit.
Now, and I'm not saying this so people can take advantage of me, there are tables that I would pay for an official, licensed, accurate recreation of it.
You pay that?
I'd pay $25. I'd pay $30 for some if they were perfect.
Okay.
But it's a table I didn't really like. But I understand, again, the licensing. License. This is one that people have been asking for years, even back when Pinball Arcade still had the licenses. And I was happy to see it come out. And I hadn't seen anything new on Zen Pinball FX in a while, so I'm like, okay, I understand. This is a small thing. I buy it, and then 2 weeks later, they announce this. And I'm like, you just fucking got me for $15 for one fucking table.
And they expect you to buy it again.
They expect you to buy it again.
It's not a licensing thing.
That's not a licensing.
No, absolutely not. No, I would. My gut tells me, Ian, almost none of this is licensing. That's a bullshit.
Well, I don't know about that.
If they're allowing you to still buy the old ones at the same time as the new ones, it has nothing to do with it.
Well, yeah, it depends. Well, they get rid of the stuff that you can't buy anymore.
Some of this is bullshit.
Well, yeah, no, it's all a little fishy to me.
Not Fishtails. Great game.
Great game. Love it. Oh, and then even worse. If you don't want to do that, you can just subscribe to their games' service. $15 a month subscription.
15 a month?
15 a month.
And does that give you access to everything?
Everything.
So what is that? Pat, man, that's 140 a year. What the fuck is that? 15 times 12. It's 135 a year.
And that amount of money would buy you the tables if you just outright bought them.
150 a year, that is.
I think it's like 140 if you outright buy all the tables again.
Then why would you just buy all the tables again? I mean, because they got you both ways. What's the expression? Both ways to Sunday? What is the expression?
So, and part of this is my own fault. But between Pinball Arcade, various versions of Pinball Arcade, various versions of Pinball FX, some of these tables I would be buying for the 5th time, and I can't.
Are any new tables released, are they going to have it on both versions or force you to get this upgrade?
I don't know.
That's my question.
They say right now that they're not getting rid of Pinball FX 3, but I don't trust anything at this point.
But I guarantee you that they'll probably say, okay, any new tables? You're going to have to upgrade. But if you upgrade, Ian, you're going to have two different interfaces between both versions of the program, I guess. Right? I guess.
The response within the Pinball FX 3 subreddit was universally negative.
How can it be positive?
One player calculated that acquiring all the tables would cost $150 because they'd need a $100 pack of 1,200 tickets plus a $50 pack of 575 tickets, which would leave them with 90 unused tickets, technically worth about $10.
That's how they get you. It's like a gift card. They already got your money. A lot of people don't end up using those gift cards, Ian, or all of it. That's how they get you. This is a gift card bullshit situation. This is bad. This is bad, Ian.
Yeah, I'm not happy.
I wouldn't be either.
As for rebuying the tables, Kirk understands why that prospect is upsetting to some. We're getting some heat right now. Yes, you are. Same thing happened in 2010. The same thing happened in 2017. Yes, but it's the fact that you keep fucking doing it. And before then, you could make... I feel like starting it, you could make some excuses as to the physics aren't great. You know, we want to get
the physics back in Pinman was not good,
but we now have physics that have been that are pretty acceptable, and graphics that are more than.
What were they upgrading from? What were they using before?
I have no idea. Maybe their own, and I don't
their own engine or Unity.
I mean,
like, do you need it for pinball games? Do you need fucking Unity Matrix demo level graphics? No,
the machines look great. They look fine on Pinball FX. They look fine.
I'm getting angry and I'm not even into it. That's ridiculous. Is there a viable competitor out there anymore?
No. So they say that this will prohibit there ever being this problem again. They're saying that talking with licensors, talking with other people, that with the ticket system that you'd be allowed, that basically cross-buy and cross-play would be allowed. So if you have it on the Epic Store and they eventually release it on other systems, or other Steam, you would have it across systems. But what's to stop them from doing this again if they decide they need to upgrade it to Unreal 5 or Unreal 6 or whatever the fuck it is?
This is greedy as fuck.
I don't like it. And if I just at some point, and I don't want to be mean because these people have reached out to me. I was part of the pilot program. I got to play all the stuff when they upgraded the physics and they started bringing real tables in. But what was I going to say?
Is it bridge too far?
Oh yeah. Well, no. At some point,
you're going to be
out. If you can't, you're running the business poorly. Then you're doing something wrong. And someone else said it's not our responsibility that they decide to upgrade the engines.
No.
If they want more money, they release more tables. Nothing is stopping them from making more tables that don't have licenses and IPs.
And you should have notified people like Ian that, hey, maybe you hold off on this.
Yeah, maybe you don't spend $15 fucking on one table if you're going to have to buy it again.
Because obviously this has been development for a long time. Like, you knew it was coming. There was no transition plan, it sounded like.
Right.
For the people that bought. Like, can you at least, I'm not saying, just don't, if you don't do it just for Ian, everyone that's bought one of your tables in the past, I don't know, year, give them a freebie on the upgrade.
Yeah.
Do that at least.
Something.
Do something. Because this is horrifying. If this was a game doing something like this would be huge. I mean, like...
It's a game.
It's pinball. I mean, like, if this was a big video game doing this, not a pinball is niche. If this is a big game doing this, this would be huge news.
This would be much bigger news if it wasn't pinball.
It'd be big.
And at the end of the day, like I said, it's not everyone there. It's people high up. But I feel like someone just realized, hey, we've got this small dedicated fan base and we can fucking gouge them. And I'm pissed off about it.
This is a gouging.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, Ian.
Yep. Anyways, that's all. Moving on.
E3 2022 is not happening.
Not happening.
It's officially canceled. We said the demise of E3 was going to happen even before the pandemic. Said this is not long for the world.
Right.
We're not huge prognosticators on it, but like there's no need to do them anymore. Nintendo has their own directs. EA has their own. Like there's no reason to. That's IGN thing playing. There's no reason to spend potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars on an event where the same information can go out free online in a video, or on you have your own stage set up at your own offices with people demoing shit. There's just no need.
Right. But this is saying there's not even a digital version happening this year. So
it's weird. Maybe they realize that people aren't into it anymore. Were people not signing up for the digital version? Because remember, we're only 2 months out. Your cancel is only 2 months away.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah, I feel like they probably just looked at it and they're like, wow, no one's coming back to this.
So I guess it's the ESA not making money on E3 anymore, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm happy to see it go. I got to be honest with you. I've been tired every year of this of seeing people get excited and then immediately the same people afterwards talking about how much it sucked.
Sure. Who won E3? ESA won. They got everyone's money.
I'm happy that we don't have to pretend to cover it.
We used to do special podcast E3 news. Remember that several years ago?
They never got any views and it sucked.
This is the update from it. Update. The ESA has shared an official statement with IGN confirming the cancellation and that E3 will return in 2023 with a reinvigorated showcase. We will devote all our energy and resources to delivering a revitalized physical and digital E3 experience next summer. Whether enjoyed from the show floor or from your favorite devices, the 2023 showcase will bring the community, media, industry back together in an all-new format and interactive experience. No, it won't. It's done.
Yeah.
I'm not saying there won't be an E3 next year. The importance of it, skipping a year, and then the pandemic, and then even before, it's done.
Yeah. They might have something back next year that's called E3, but E3 as we know it is finished.
It's done.
So it'll be interesting to see if something decides to try to take its place or if we just move on from this. June is randomly our info dump month because that's how it was needed
for magazines
20 years ago.
Yes,
yeah, for magazines.
Make sure you had stuff in the fall to print for people to buy shit for Christmas. Like, we don't operate like that anymore. We don't. That's 20, 25, at least 15 years out of date.
Just doing it because it's a habit at this point.
Speaking of things that aren't happening, GameStop, after the podcast last week, the next day or so, started charging everyone's credit cards for the poor unfortunate souls that pre-ordered an Intellivision Amico on their site for that $300 Galaxy Purple bundle or the $250 Glacier White or Black one. They started charging full price, like $300 on the credit card, and people were pissed off. Seth Abramson, a big Twitter person for politics, tweeted out that he was pissed about it. So obviously there was a fuck up that happened.
Right. On
GameStop. GameStop didn't realize, hey, we have no inventory in here. The date up to that point said March 31st. So that makes it, by the way, that's officially the 5th release date missed by Intellivision. I think it's the 5th.
We never told them that. That's just a placeholder. Yeah, that's clearly on both parties. GameStop should realize that they have no. I just wonder, like, here's the thing: if that was something that had actually been pre-ordered a lot, they probably would have noticed. Oh my God, we don't have any.
Do we have 50,000 of these ready to go?
Yeah.
No, that's a good point.
It makes me wonder. But yeah, I mean, that would not have happened if it was a Sony system.
No.
Or a Microsoft system, or even a popular game,
or a Hyperkin system, or anything. Evercade, it wouldn't happen.
Or
anything with the Amico,
a make-believe system that I made up with crayons and construction paper,
and Etch-a-Sketch, console. I don't know,
but the Amico. Let's be real. There was not thousands and thousands of these pre-orders at GameStop. There was probably under 100.
I'll be generous and say there was like 300 pre-ordered.
Sure,
300 pre-ordered.
But regardless, not enough to make them probably pay a lot of attention to it. On the other hand, so GameStop shouldn't have charged. They should have been aware of this, but Intellivision probably should have, alerted their fucking retail partners.
Hey, Phil, are you on vacation still? Phil Adam, maybe you let them know. Hey, Tommy, I know you you just had a Video Games Live this past weekend, so you're rehearsing your air guitar for Tacoma. Why didn't you let GameStop know? Hey, our console isn't coming out, and do the right thing. I mean, you could have probably said that at some point in the past, I don't know, year and a half when you knew it wasn't coming out. Like, so I'm not one of these people that say, oh, blame Intellivision 100% or blame GameStop. GameStop should know what the hell they have in stock. But obviously, Intellivision never said, by the way, guys, this shit isn't happening.
Right.
You can't have it both ways. You can't promote your stuff on GameStop for a year and a half with a fucking trailer showing how great their controller is in the Ferrari and shit. That's what they had in GameStop. Believe it or not, that's what they showed on. They had the fucking trailer showing how great the fucking controller. Remember that awful trailer like they showed on the Ferrari engine and shit. Now they're tossing the damn thing and catapulting it.
Oh yeah,
clown show shit. Anyway, so it's sad. I'm sure GameStop will give people their money back. But you know who's not giving people their money back? Intellivision has not. I get more reports every week of people months ago, 6 weeks, 2 months ago, asking for refunds, are getting silenced. My offer still stands. I will read off people's first name, last name, initial. I'm not going to say your full name and say, listen, these people want their money back. It sounds like there's some hesitancy. These are the old school Intellivision fans that don't want to piss off Intellivision Entertainment. They fear reprisal. Don't be afraid of Intellivision Entertainment. Don't be afraid of Tommy.
They've got nothing you can get from them anyways.
I guess if there's people in the homebrew community that might be afraid of, they're coming after homebrew stuff and things like that. But don't be afraid of the bullies. If they come after you, people got your back. They shouldn't have your money anymore. They shouldn't. They should. So that's all I'm going to say about that, Ian. I know you're clocking it. We're 47 minutes into the intro.
No, I was going to say something snarky, but I said
say something snarky.